Well, just getting a post-match interview here at the Eyrie after tonight's 2-0 win over Didcot Town in a battle between second and third in the table. Skip, start with you. Wasn't pretty at times, but we were absolutely outstanding where we needed to be tonight, weren't we?
I actually enjoyed that game. That's a proper grassroots game of football. Yeah, it probably lacked a little bit of quality at times, but there was quality in there. But that was two sides battling, knowing that points were precious tonight. So there's a few people here that haven't watched us for quite a while, and they enjoyed it. So 2-0, they've enjoyed it. So credit to the lads, credit to both sides, credit to Didcot, because I thought first half they were very, very good, and the second goal, I know it was late on, sort of took the wind out their sails, but you can see why they're third. Fair play to them. I've enjoyed that. We come up against Didcot, albeit I think the fourth season now, and you know how they can play.
They're always tight games, aren't they?
Always tight games. We was on the end of a 1-0. Again, if from recollection, I thought we played better at Didcot than tonight, and we lost 1-0. But that's football. I mean, I said to you earlier in the season, there'll be games when you suddenly think we've got away with one there. But overall, I think we deserved to win purely because of how we defended. We got the early goal, and we've defended really well. But we've been on the end of performances like that where we've conceded early and not been able to break the opposition down and ended up losing the game. You're thinking how we lost that. But no, fair play. I mean, they'd probably argue a draw would have been a fair result. But I think for the neutral, they got their money's worth there, because that's had a bit of everything. 2 good goals, plenty of chances, plenty of physicality, a referee that let the game flow, and you could argue maybe he let it flow too much, but then next week we'll have a referee that blows up for a cough, and you're sitting there frustrated. So never happy really, but result brilliant.
Dave, obviously the second goal had a touch of controversy about it. How did you see that one?
Yeah, look, it was just a big block tackle that spun our way, and the linesman put the flag up. But the truth is, it's not a pass through. It's not, I think the ref. Look, I'm Biggleswade, one of the Biggleswade managers, and it's a block tackle. So how do you define from that it's a pass and a ball through? I don't think it was, and I think he's got it right, and I genuinely do.
It actually looked like the linesman was going to put his flag up, and everybody sort of stopped and just thought the referee was going to blow the whistle. And I mean, let's not take anything away from the finish, though. The finish was some effort from Bondi, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the decision, by the way, their skipper at the end, come across and spoke to us during the game and spoke at the end, and and he didn't have any arguments with it. He said, he was quite honest. He said, look, it's a big block tackle. It can go either way. 1 week it's one way, 1 week it's another way. By the way, but the finish from Bondi was fabulous. He's both his finishes today have been great. And look, if there's all three of us would say, if you could have chose someone to get a couple of goals today, it'd be him, because he works so hard, does all the ugly stuff for us, and his other players sometimes take all the glory. And today, be great. It's great. I'll probably be the old boy's first man in the match in 3, 4, 5 years of us. So, and he's thoroughly deserved it today. He's been pushed close by 1 and 2, but I think even James will be pleased from today. And James moans about it more than anything, but I think even he'll be pleased for today. It was a great finish, probably from the outside of the box, I think, as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No.
You're all right under that bus, James.
Pick myself up. It's all love, Bondi.
It's all right.
It's your offsides I have the gripes with, isn't it?
It's all right. We won't talk about Bondi. I was talking to Dave just off camera just before we came on, and he was saying that he felt that we weren't in it first half. What did we do at half time to change that tide? Because I think although they had lots of possession and they got into some good areas in the second half, they didn't really have the clear-cut opportunities that perhaps they had in the first half.
Yeah, after we scored, I think we actually were too open and opened up too much. That was just a small tweak really about the wide players tucking in a bit closer to the midfield three, limiting the chances, making sure that they played in front of us rather than in between and in behind us, which they did too often for the second half, part of the first half. So that was a big difference we mentioned at half time, and that allowed back four, obviously became back three, the second half a chance to defend better and not be sort of left 1v1 or 2v2. So that was all that was said at half time.
Excellent. Dave, just a word about Adam Wedd. Obviously he's come in the last couple of games, and after sort of being out the side ill, he was outstanding tonight, wasn't he?
Yeah, without a doubt. In terms of his all-round game, for me he was our best player today. Defensively was superb, was bringing it out of defence. You know, he's one boy, and we're talking about him being ill, that, you know, I know he's been a bit frustrated in the last maybe month, but he's the one person that myself I think in terms of us doing the right thing, I think we've got it right. You know, we have to look after him, look after lads. He's had, if from what he's told us, 2 bouts of bronchitis. He's been on antibiotics for 2.5 months, and he has genuinely struggled. You know, we've had him back at training, and you know, he stood there coughing. I apologised, I think, on camera at Cirencester because the boy, you know, we shouldn't have played him. That was my, you know, I made a bad decision there. And all the way through, we've always felt we've got someone and something a little bit special. I think he started most of the games until his illness, and he's come back in. Saturday was his first game in a long time. Thought he was a good Saturday whilst being rusty, and tonight, I honestly, I can't remember him putting a foot wrong. You know, the big thing from him tonight was he was brave on the ball. He made the tackles and, you know, big headers, but generally just made the right decision on every occasion. And what, you know, it's brilliant to see him, because he's strange. You know, he's quite a complex character. He's usually always got a smile on his face, but he can, you know, sometimes be very quiet. And, you know, we felt at the start of the season, you know, his parents got in touch with James, and we felt we'd got a right result to get him to come to the club. And I hope that the lad and his family realise that we've only done, you know, we've got a duty of care to the lad, and I'm confident, whatever happens, I'm confident we've done everything right for him. And we always felt that once he got back to fitness and you know, got well, he'd be doing exactly what he's done today, and he was doing that before his illness, and he'll probably do it now all the way through to, you know, we need a point. I think we still need a point, but to do it in the playoffs for us. So he's always been massive for us. He's only a young lad, but, you know, today, what's a performance? And if he stays around this club for a little bit longer, you know, he'll be one of the top boys at the club. But I thought he was outstanding.
Just talking about other players in the squad, obviously Pat's just come back into the side recently. Fisher came in on Saturday. It must be good from our perspective that we've got players probably coming in a bit fresher back into the squad. Obviously Jack Drower came back into the squad after being sub Saturday. It seems to have just freshened it up a little bit, and obviously it's good that we've made those changes and been able to pick up 2 wins at the same time.
I'm just saying that off camera to Dave and James. With the games coming up, you can't play the same 11, and I think we've benefited tonight. I thought Jack was brilliant with his work rate. I thought Fisher was bordering on outstanding on Saturday. He was a bit hard done by, but again, we've got big games coming up. We've got games that we've got Fisher lined up for because of the opposition and how they play. So I don't want to get too technical. You have to sort of horses for courses. So we've looked at today, and Dave's picked the side, and it's worked out well for us with some of the energy levels. I mean, I think today the experienced lads have come to the forefront today. Coles' performance was brilliant. The 2 Marshes was brilliant. Dan Newton at the back was fantastic alongside Weddy. They've actually come, and we had a tough time at the end of the first half. We was under the Alimo a little bit, and you just said there that the fresh legs have helped us through that, because at half time it was quite tough. It was tough because the second half was going to be, if we'd have carried on defending deep, we would have at some point conceded good chances. But yeah, and then Saturday we go again. There's lads on there. I mean, there's a couple that didn't get on today that are going to be gutted. George Bailey's come back from an illness, and we all know that if George is fully fit, he starts. So he's going to be now itching, especially because we've got Biggleswade Town on Bank Holiday Monday, which is one of his ex-clubs. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting couple of games coming up.
Dave, obviously getting a win tonight, barring some kind of major collapse, we just need one more point pretty much, or another win to absolutely rubber stamp our place in the playoffs. But how important is it that we finish the season strong and keep sort of pushing for victories all the way through to the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it's massively important. I feel these two see me all the time stressing, but I feel under pressure, but not because I didn't feel we'd reach the playoffs, because I always felt we would, but to try and maintain the second place, to give ourselves the home tie in the semi-final, and if we're lucky enough to come through it, we'd get the home tie in the final. So it's a massive achievement. A massive achievement to come second, and if we can get and carry on to that and get the home tie, that's a great reward for us, great reward for the supporters that they can all come in. I think we'll have big numbers here, and I think it'll be like being under the Alamo, like Skippy's just said.
Is that a saying?
That's not a saying.
It's
one of yours. Under the Alamo.
Made up, is it?
Yeah, I think like being at the Alamo.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but not under it. I think if you're under it, you might be dead.
That'll catch on.
It will.
And on that note, I'll see you on Saturday, chaps.
Thank you.
Thank you.